There we go. It was a little bit of Jackson Brown with and Clarence Clements, who was, of course, if you know Clarence Clements, the late Clarence Clements was the saxophonist. It's a nice word, saxophonist, isn't it? He was saxophonist in the E Street Band, which used to back, still does to a degree, Bruce Springsteen. Now, we just had a Lee from United Outreach on the phone, sort of mentioning what she did and the upcoming Peel Wellness on the 1st of October on a Wednesday, saying what they provide the community. Again, one of the many community organisations we don't hear a lot about, but do a great job out there. Now, I think we have, if the technology is correct, I think we have Amanda on the phone. Are you there, Amanda?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, that's great. Do you realise there's 3 A's in Amanda? I just realised that.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, so if you didn't have Amanda, you'd be Md. Because, yeah. There you go. So, Amanda, you are from Dynamic Ability, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So, tell me a little bit about what you do, Amanda, please.
Yeah, sure. So, I co-founded Dynamic Ability with my business partner, Donna, back in 2023.
Yeah.
So, we both come from a mental health nursing background.
Yeah.
I later retrained as a social worker, and we saw the gap between the mental health system and the disability system. So we decided to launch our own company to try and bridge that gap. So we are an NDIS registered provider, but we specialise in that mental health space. So
are you part of the NDIS, Amanda?
Yes, we are. Yeah,
okay.
We're a registered provider.
Right. So... So do you, if somebody's on NDIS, do you deal mainly with the mental health aspect of NDIS or do you encompass it all?
So we do specialise in that mental health space. So we specialise in what they call psychosocial disability. And
Whoa.
That's when you have a disability that arises from a mental health condition. But we do also work with other disabilities, so intellectual disabilities, acquired brain injuries, dementia, autism, those sorts of things. So anything kind of to do with the brain rather than that physical disability.
How, you must have a very diverse range of clients then if you're covering those aspects, like acquired brain injury to other things which mental health's involved. It must be a very challenging role in that regard.
Yeah, it can be very challenging, and it is definitely very diverse. We work with all sorts of different types of people, a lot of families as well,
wow.
But it's also very rewarding.
So do you sort of... Is it easy to get success? Now, by that I mean, what is success? That's a good question. But, somebody comes to you and you work with them. Do you have a lot of good results in that regard, Amanda?
Yeah, we do. And look, success is really defined by the individual. So
yeah, okay.
It's different for everybody that we're working with, and we do really try and have that person-centred approach. So we work with somebody to look at what are their goals, what do they want to achieve, and is that just something simple like a daily task that we all take for granted, or is that something a bit bigger? Do they have, employment goals or study goals, things like that? Or is it just looking at those daily routines, sleeping, eating, and functioning, doing your shopping, those sorts of things? So we do have a lot of success. We work in the NDI space, they call it capacity building supports. So that's all about improving people's skills and their ability to function in their daily life.
So do you find being in that, I don't like to use the word industry, but for want of a better word, do you find being in this, the industry dealing with mental health and anything to do with the brain, do you find that there's an increasing need for services now than there used to be, or maybe, like 2 years ago or 3 years ago?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think, it's always been a need, but we are finding that there is definitely an increasing need, and particularly with the lack of services.
Yes.
With mental health, a lot of people get stuck between that disability services and mental health services, and they kind of get pushed between the two different systems. So that's where we're trying to bridge that gap and provide disability supports, but from people who understand mental health and have that knowledge and experience and that expertise in that area.
It's it must be sensations. It must be, given that there's so many areas of the brain and mental health that you deal with. It must be. Is it difficult to diagnose and to work with people, given the vast array of issues that are out there now?
Yeah, so, we don't diagnose people as such. They come to us with a diagnosis, but we don't tend to focus too much on that. We find that, yes, everybody's needs are different and everybody's diagnosis is different, but at the end of the day, we're all humans and we all have, similar needs. So it's about looking at that individual person and figuring out what it is that, like I said before, what they want to achieve, and just tackling those things bit by bit is setting small goals and just focusing on that rather than the diagnosis as such.
So you find, I'm assuming you come from a background with this. So what made you want to go out with your business partner? What was the reason behind that?
It was probably working. We've both worked for a long time in both the public health system, big not-for-profit organisations, and we just felt a little bit disconnected from the people that we were really trying to help. So we went out on our own to try and make a difference and do things the way that we felt they should be done and get back to that real person-centred approach, and not the tick-boxy bureaucratic kind of systems that we'd worked in previously.
And I think in a lot of industries, Amanda, that's the... because there's so many people, and unfortunately, I think with a lot of, like you say, a lot of government-run things, it's a lot of ticking boxes, and it's a one-size-fits-all, whereas somebody like yourselves, you can actually, it's not one-size-fits-all, because two people may have a similar problem, but you've got to treat them differently. Was that a fair thing to say? Yeah,
absolutely. And we prioritise that quality over the volume. So we keep our caseloads fairly small so that we can have that more personalised approach.
And dynamic ability, whereabouts are you based, Amanda?
So we're a mobile service, so we all work from home.
Oh, okay.
We've got staff who are based in Mandurah, Rockingham and Armidale.
Wow.
And we service about half an hour radius within each of those locations.
Oh, that's really good. I didn't realise there was that many offshoots of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So if people want to find out more, and I think, that's exactly what I'm being looked after by this group, and I just find, like you say, it's being ticking boxes, and I want to think, no, I'd like to hear from Amanda at Dynamic Ability. So how do we go about? About getting in contact with you?
Yeah, sure. So you can go to our website. Currently, our referral form is not available on our website. We're just doing some updates.
Yep.
But there is contact details on there and a bit more information about us. Otherwise, they can reach out to me directly. I do all our intakes personally.
Yep.
And my details are on the website. Or my phone number is 0478 187 032. Or my email is amanda@dynamicability.com.au.
Look, I think it's, again, I think one of the good things is that rather than people go to a website or whatever. But I think the fact that you've given people your details and your contact, people can actually speak one-on-one, so they've automatically got some sort of connection rather than just, number 355 in the queue.
Yeah, absolutely. And regardless of who people end up being linked into within our organisation, I do all that intake and meet with people directly. So they've always got 2 points of contact within the company that they can speak to too.
Well, that's great, Amanda. Thanks for sharing that. And I think, again, it just gives people an opportunity out there who are going through these issues, and you're an NDIS provider. And you've given us your contact details. And look, I just hope it goes onwards and upwards for you, Amanda.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and thanks again for coming on IPL Radio.
Not a problem. You have a good day.
You too. Goodbye now.